On Larry King Now, you know her from Community and The Odd Couple. It's the hilarious Yvette Nicole Brown.
It's funny, they have this thing in the black community where we say, Mama, I made it when something big happens. I called my mom and said I was coming to talk to you, and she said, baby, you made it. She told me I made it, so I knew. You know, I think Community had the most rabid fan base. We were a land of misfit toys, and I think the world is full of more misfits than the people that have it together. Dude, you're gonna run this country. What are you doing? He just doesn't get it. And I am heartbroken at a level I don't think words could even quantify.
Plus, person you'd like to switch places with for a day.
Ooh, Michelle Obama on January 21st.
Like, where you going?
Yeah, where we going? Where we going, Barack?
It's all next on Larry King Now. We're welcoming you to Larry King Now. Our guest is Yvette Nicole Brown, actress and comedian. Yvette's wide-ranging resume is filled with hilarious and highly acclaimed roles like Shirley Bennett from the cult comedy hit Community. Currently, she stars in the CBS comedy The Odd Couple. That's in its third year. And we'll also see her starting January 24th at 9 Eastern in BET's three-part miniseries, The New Edition Story. Welcome. I know you're excited to be here.
I am so excited to be here. I'm like almost about to bounce out of this chair.
Why?
Because I love you, and I've been watching you a very long time. And so it's funny, they have this thing in the black community where we say, Mama, I made it when something big happens. I called my mom and said I was coming to talk to you, and she said, baby, you made it. She told me I made it, so I knew. This is a big deal.
Okay, well, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Do you have a resolution?
To not have resolutions. I break them. I break them every year. So this year, I'm just kind of, after 2016, I'm just kind of floating into 2017 and hoping for the best for all of us.
Oh, we start with new episodes of The Odd Couple. This was one of the great plays ever written by Neil Simon, a hit television show for years.
Yes.
Never a major hit, but always ran.
Yes.
And now they bring it back.
Yes, with Matthew Perry and Thomas Lennon, which is
and
great.
You play a part that was never in the original series.
Well, she was, the character name was, and it was Penny Marshall's role in the original show. So I play Oscar's assistant. She was his secretary back then, so I'm his assistant.
At the newspaper?
Yeah, no, he's a sports radio host now. So I'm like a producer and an assistant for him in that show.
Why do we keep loving The Odd Couple?
You know what? I think the archetypes are fresh. You know, 2.5 Men is essentially The Odd Couple. Big Bang Theory is essentially The Odd Couple. Anytime you take two people that are different and mush them together, comedy ensues. So I think we're going back to the original, which was what Neil Simon created. So it's great.
Did you ever see the play?
I never saw the play. I did see the show in reruns. I was born a little after it aired, but I watched it in reruns. So.
And the movie? Walter
Yes, I did go back and watch the movie. Yeah, it lives and breathes. No matter how many years it's been since you see one of those, it still is gold.
As a comedian, you'll be interested in something. Jackie Gleason, who was a great friend of mine, he said he'd like to do The Odd Couple on stage, and I said, you'd be a great Oscar. He said, oh, I want to be Felix. There's more laughs in Felix.
There are a lot of laughs in Felix. And Thomas Lennon is just brilliant. It's like, he's just great.
What's it like working with
Matthew and Thomas? Yeah. Matthew, I was a big Friends fan, and as you saw when I met you, I kind of went to Goo. When I'm a fan of someone, I kind of turn into Goo. So like the first week, I couldn't even look him in the eye because I was so like nervous. But he's the kind of famous person that like calms you down immediately. Like, what are you doing? Come here and talk to me. Let's figure this out.
And he's naturally funny.
Yeah, and he's naturally funny. And I feel like when someone's naturally funny and they laugh at you, it's one of those moments where it's like, all right, this is going to be okay. So,
like I was nice to you when you drooled over
I
me.
did when I caught you. I did. I was a pile of goo in the hallway, and you were very kind to me.
All I
Thank
asked
you.
was that you kiss my ear.
And I did. I did what I'm told. It was fine.
Okay, tell me about the BET special, The New Edition Story.
Yes. Okay. So New Edition is my generation's Jackson 5, and BET is doing this great 3-day miniseries, 6 hours, all about how they were formed. This show has spawned Bobby Brown, BBD, Ralph Tresvant, Johnny Gill, and then Michael went on to discover Boyz II Men, and he also discovered me as a singer when I was a teenager. He had a group called the East Coast Family, and I was one of the acts that he discovered. So the New Edition story is kind of my story too, and so in a twist of fate, I'm playing Michael Bivins' mom. So there's a scene in the movie where I'm telling my son, Michael, you know, you got to chase this dream. And I kind of felt like if I don't get him out of this stairwell to chase his dream, he's not going to discover Yvette Brown from Cleveland. So I got to get him out this stairway. So that was like my acting motivation in the scene. So it was like a full circle moment for me.
How big was the New Edition?
They were huge. Like they literally were NSYNC, or the later generations had NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. New Edition was our Jackson 5. Ralph Tresvant was our Michael Jackson. Bobby Brown was our Michael Jackson. Like it was a big deal, you know?
You recently hosted a Q&A panel.
Yes, at the Paley Center.
Around it, and Bobby Brown was on the panel. He cried?
Yeah, well, Bobby Brown was actually in the audience, and but Bobby won't sit. You can't keep Bobby in the audience. Can't put baby in a corner. So Bobby came on down after the show, we screened the first 2 hours, and he came down and told his story, and he said, you know, to see my life, to be alive, to still see my life in front of me, he was like, I got a cry in me. I got a little cry, you know, and that was something I don't think most people knew about Bobby, that he's kind of a softie. So he kind of teared up a little bit seeing a smaller version of him, a younger version of him.
What made them musically special?
They were kids from Boston. They didn't have much, and I grew up kind of poor in East Cleveland. So whatever they sang, I felt like they understood where I was coming from. And then, you know, you're a girl, and they're boys, and they're cute, and they're great singers, and they're dancing like, you know, my mom was a big Temptations and Supremes fan. So they were doing steps. Brooke Payne, their amazing choreographer and manager, gave them steps that were kind of like the Temptations. So I grew up seeing my mom loved the Temptations, and then I got to have my own version. So I think for those of us that grew up loving New Edition, it was like a Motown throwback almost, you know, in the Jackson 5.
So this is a serious role for you.
This is a serious role.
And is that new for you?
You know what? I don't get to do a lot of serious stuff because I'm kind of a clown. I am by nature. So I was really honored that they trusted me with this, because this miniseries goes really deep. This is not a fluffy piece of, you know, cotton candy. They really show drug use and betrayal and a lot of things that, you know, New Edition went through. It's all there for everybody to see. And I've told every fan that loves New Edition, you do not want to miss these 6 hours. It's going to be amazing. We start January 24th on BET, and 24th, 25th, 26th. It's going to be great.
Do you ever do stand-up?
I've never done stand-up. I can make other people's words
so you're
funny.
a comedic actress.
I'm a comedic actress, yeah.
Next, Yvette Nicole Brown on the rise, fall, and potential revival of Community, which never goes away.
But never.
Stay with us. Yvette Nicole Brown is our guest. The special that you'll see her on, it's the New Edition story, 3-part miniseries starting January 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Was your biggest role Community?
I think so far, yeah. I think Community had the most rabid fan base of anything I've ever done. I meet a Community fan every day. I met like 3 Community fans on your staff. Yeah. You know, so it's something that just touched people's hearts, or they watched it.
Why?
I think because we were a land of misfit toys. And I think the world is full of more misfits than the people that have it together. I was a misfit, you know, I was an underdog in life. And I feel like when you find your tribe, you kind of hold on to them. And so I think the misfits of the world really found someone in that study group that reminded them of themselves, and they held on.
You miss the show?
I do. I was going to say I miss my friends in the cast and crew, but I actually see a lot of them. So it's not as melancholy as it would seem. But we were together like 16 hours a day. And that time, you know, when you're in the midst of it, you don't realize how special it is. And then when it's gone, it's like, dang, I'm never going to be with that exact group of people ever again. So that part I really, really miss. Why
was it always a struggle to stay on? 5 years on NBC, a year on Yahoo?
You know, ratings matter. And I think the cast of, the people that loved Community didn't watch in traditional ways. I don't think they were Nielsen family, so to speak. So they were watching on their computers, or they were watching communally on phones and on torrent streams, Bitstream, or whatever they call it, where you download things. They weren't watching it in traditional ways, so they couldn't be counted. And I think, you know, networks want the numbers, and I don't think we ever really had them.
Keep in touch with the cast?
I do. I just actually texted Gillian this morning because she did the show. I said, I'm doing Larry, give me some pointers. So I just texted with her this morning, and I just did an episode of Ken Jeong's show, Dr. Ken, last week, and I text and talked to all of them. Allison's birthday was last week, so I sent her a text.
Do you think it would make a movie?
We have to make a movie. I don't think the fans would allow us not to make a movie. And I hope that I get to come back, because I didn't do the last season on Yahoo because I take care of my dad who has dementia, and the hours were just too long for him and for me. But if they did a movie and they would let me come back, I would 100% do it.
Father still living?
Yes, he lives with me. I take care of him.
The toughest part of that disease is for the caregiver, isn't it?
I think so, because my dad is in a very joyful place. Like he doesn't know that he doesn't know.
Does he know you?
He does. I think the hardest part for me will be the day that he doesn't know me. But so far, every day I come in and go, "Hey, Daddy," and he says, "Hey, Yvette." I'm like, yes. So as long as I get that "Hey, Yvette" in the morning and "Good night, Yvette" at night, I'm still good.
How old is he?
He'll be 75 this year. He's not that old.
Is there a difference between dementia and Alzheimer's?
There is. Dementia is basically memory loss. I mean, I have a bit of dementia because I can't remember anything, and I'm, not old enough to have had it.
Everyone has a bit of.
Exactly. And as you get older, some things, it's a lot of, your brain's a computer, and you got a lot in there.
Alzheimer's is a form of dementia.
Alzheimer's is where you kind of forget how to be a human being. And most people that pass from it, it's because they forget to swallow, they forget to breathe. Like, it literally takes away your humanity. And so as of now, my dad just has dementia, and I'm praying that it never becomes Alzheimer's, because that's the tough one.
I know you're outspoken politically, right?
I am, Larry.
So you will not entertain at the inaugural?
I would not entertain at the inaugural.
Will you go to the inaugural?
I would not go to the inaugural.
Are you not an American?
I am an American, and that's why I will not go to the inaugural.
What happened?
I think that a man spoke to people's fears, and people that were angry or sad or fearful believed what he said. And I don't think what he said was particularly insightful. I don't think what he said was particularly loving. And I don't think that what he said shows the best of who we are as human beings or Americans.
What do you worry most about his presidency?
I'm a black woman. I'm a double minority. So I worry about everything that comes out of his mouth. I worry about every cabinet pick. I worry about the fact that he just doesn't seem to get it. I kept hoping that at some point something would click and he would get it, that he's not helping by being a bully, by being mean, by calling on the worst in people. He's not helping, and he never got it. Like, if you just look at his New Year's post, there's a meme going around where they have President Obama's New Year's post where he's thanking America for, what an honor it was to be president. And then the other guy's is like, "Na na na na, I won, wah wah wah." And it's like, dude, you're gonna run this country. What are you doing? He just doesn't get it. And I am heartbroken at a level I don't think words could even quantify at this point. I have been as vocal as I can be on Twitter and elsewhere, and that's probably how you know how politically minded I am. I researched and read and watched everything for every single candidate running because I wanted to be an educated voter. And my greatest sadness is that I wanted other people to become educated. But when you have someone saying that the media lies and you can only trust me, when you have someone saying don't watch the Democratic convention, only watch the Republican convention, you're building a group of people that don't know that they don't know.
Why do you think Hillary didn't touch the black community?
I don't agree that she didn't. I think that the black community either believed that it was a done deal and she would be fine. I think the black community either believed that there's no way that our nation would vote for a racist, misogynistic, narcissistic, all the istics person. I think that black people are tired of their issues not being heard, and they kind of tapped out. I think that when you say Black Lives Matter and people think that you're a terrorist group because you like your people to not be killed, I think it kills your spirit after a while. And you kind of just go, okay, well, you can have it. If this is your world, then you do what you want to do. And I think that's what happened. I think they just tapped out.
You have no other choice but to give them a chance, right?
Who says?
Well, if you don't give them a chance, you're going to do like Mitch McConnell did to Obama?
I don't
go against him from the first day?
I don't go against anything unless it's negative and evil. And I will never go along with anything that's negative and evil. I don't care what position it is. I respect the office of president, but that doesn't mean that extends to a negative person that's in the office.
After the break, Yvette will be put in the If You Only Knew hot seat.
Ooh.
And don't forget, we'll see her January 24th at 9 Eastern on BET, a three-part miniseries, The New Edition Story. We'll be right back. We're back with Yvette Nicole Brown. What a great pleasure to have her with us. She is so excited, it's beyond belief.
It is.
We have made her year.
You have made my
year. Just started.
That's so true.
Did you have comedic heroes growing up?
Oh, gosh. I loved B. Arthur. I was a big fan of B. Arthur. Oh my gosh. I love that she and also Felicia Rashad, they both had this gift of being the smartest person in the room, but you still liked them. So those were two people that I absolutely loved.
How do you like being famous?
I don't think I am.
Aren't you recognized?
I think I'm recognized, but I think there's a difference between being recognized and being famous. I have no desire to be famous.
If you're recognized, you're famous.
I don't know.
Today's world?
I mean, and how sad is that? But I actually like going to the grocery store in sweats, and you know, I'm okay with just being a working actress. I think that's ideal. Now
that you're doing Sirius in the New Edition story, are there other roles you kind of want to tackle? Are you ready for the big screen?
You know what a movie that's out right now that I wish I could have been in was Hidden Figures. Oh my God. First of all three of the women depicted are members of my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Sorority Incorporated, Skiwi. And then also it was just a great portrayal of Black women that weren't maids and slaves, you know what I mean? And it just would have been so great to be in a film like that. So I would love the opportunity to do something like that.
Fences?
Oh, Fences is amazing too. Like
one of the great plays ever written.
Totally, I've seen it. I saw Viola and Denzel on Broadway, and the movie is everything. Denzel did a great job. It's just, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities for African Americans right now.
Okay, we play a little game of If You Only Knew.
Yes.
I just throw some questions at you.
Okay, I'm
nervous. It's not a courtroom. You don't have to answer.
Okay.
Person you'd like to switch places with for a day?
Ooh, Michelle Obama on January 21st.
Like, where you going?
Yeah, where we going? Where we going, Barack? Yes.
Best piece of advice you ever received?
Be kind. You know, life is tough, but just be decent. Yeah.
Worst piece of advice you ever got?
Have a plan B.
Place we would find you on a day off?
In bed with my remote control watching Netflix, binging on a television show.
You're not married?
No, I'm not married. Where is he? No, I'm not married.
You haven't met Mr. Right?
I have not met him yet. I don't know where he is.
You ever come close?
Never even came close. You know what it is? I don't know what it is. Anybody know what it is?
Were you ever in love?
I have been in love.
What happened?
We were too young. I think we were too young.
You ever find out what happened to him?
Yeah, he's married with kids. He's happy. Life is good for him. No, I'm kidding. I'm happy for him.
Musician we'd be surprised to hear you listen to?
Ooh, be surprised? I like country music.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't know that people would be surprised by that because country...
Like Willie Nelson?
Yes, I like Willie Nelson. I love Crystal Gale from back in the day. I loved Eddie Rabbitt when I was a kid. So I like, and Dolly Parton. I met Dolly Parton recently. Pile of goo. Pile of goo. I was, not her. I was a pile of goo. Yeah, so I love 70s country music. And today too, but 70s was my thing.
Funniest fan encounter?
I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead, and people know that I love that show. And I was at Comic-Con, and a woman was dressed as a zombie, and she started coming at me like this with the blood, and I said, listen, I appreciate your work, but you got to stop that. So she stopped and said, oh my God, I'm a big fan. I'm like, that we can have this moment, but we're not going to have this moment. So yeah, that was the one. Person
from history you'd like to take to lunch?
Ooh, I gotta go Martin Luther King Jr. I kind of feel like he would have some answers. What was he like?
He was great.
Great man. Yeah, great interview.
It resounded through the...
I bet.
A favorite curse word?
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's the best word.
It's the best word because it's a noun, it's a verb.
It's bad.
Yeah, and you know what? You can't say it everywhere. Yeah, I really like that one.
You'd appreciate what Lenny Bruce once said.
What did he say?
Is colloquial for intercourse.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So if someone says to me, you, I say thank you. When I get mad at someone, I say unf you.
Ooh.
Unf you forever.
That is new.
Think about that.
That's good.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Moving from Cleveland to LA with 2 rolling duffel bags and a place to stay for 3 days.
Something you wish you were better at?
Organizing my house. I'm good at organizing my life, but my house is in shambles.
Favorite thing about Hollywood?
That you get to meet like-minded people. Like, I feel like I found my tribe. And I'm very active on Twitter, and I like meeting people, and so I get to talk to a lot of people. Something people get wrong about Hollywood? That it's easy, and that, you know, there's like gold at the end of every rainbow. A lot of people that are on television don't have a lot of money. They don't have everything. Like, you have to work really hard to make a living as an actor. Those of us that, you know, for everyone that gets on a show, there's thousands that are, you know, just getting by. If not acting, then what? Kindergarten teacher. Kindergarten. Oh, 5- and 6-year-olds are delicious. That's right before life has kicked their teeth in. Like, they're wide open to everything.
They say the kindergarten and first grade are the most important teachers in your life. They will set your code for education.
Oh, I would have loved it. That's my tribe. You talk about tribe, 5- and 6-year-olds. I used to be a day camp counselor in Ohio before I moved to LA, and I had the 5- and 6-year-olds, and they were just delightful.
Yvette Nicole Brown in 10 years.
Hopefully doing a lot of philanthropy. I have a couple of charities, NPTF I love, and DonorsChoose.org I love, and I would love to have achieved enough where I can be giving back in a greater way, personally.
In our final moments, Yvette takes your questions from social media. That's next. We're back with Yvette Nicole Brown. Don't forget her miniseries. It's on BET, 3-part miniseries, The New Edition Story. It airs beginning January 24th at 9 Eastern. Okay, we received a flood of social media questions for you.
Good. A deluge?
Let's begin.
Let's do it.
A deluge.
A deluge.
At Boots and Bunsen YT. Why do you have such a passion for helping teachers and students?
I think teachers are the unsung heroes of the world. I think that they create wonder in young minds, and I think that they prepare babies for what the world brings. And I think that they're underpaid. I think that they are just not given the love that they deserve. And so as long as I have breath in my lungs, I will do everything I can for teachers.
I interviewed the Teacher of the Year once, and I said, what's special about teaching? She said, a good teacher learns every day.
So true.
At Good Time 78 on Twitter, what's next on the acting front for you?
Well, we have a few more episodes of The Odd Couple, CBS, 9:30, Monday nights. So that's up next.
You know if it's going to be continued?
I don't, if people don't watch it, probably not. That's the scary thing. Show's in, it's part of the business, but I think we have a really funny show, and I would love if more people watched it. So, yeah. So, I don't know. But other than that, I'd love to do more movies and, keep doing sitcoms and stuff. I love that stuff.
Bryson Knox on Facebook. Will Drake and Josh be revived for another season? If so, would you reprise your role as Helen?
I would reprise my role as Helen. Anytime Dan Schneider calls, I go. He created the show. There's actually a fun little impromptu, unofficial revival happening right now with Drake Bell. He's got a little funny thing called #Where'sWalter, where he's looking for his dad. So I got to pop back in Helen's shoes for a little 30-second clip that's kind of floating around the internet right now. So I would go back in a heartbeat.
Ken Dawson on the Larry King Now blog. What was your favorite thing about working on Community?
The people. You will not find a greater group of humans than that group. And they've all gone on to do amazing things. Donald Glover is an amazing musician, and he created Atlanta, which is nominated for all these awards now. And, Joel McHale and everyone, Gillian Jacobs, everyone is just talented and lovely. So it was a great experience. So that was the best part. And Dan Harmon, you can't say enough about him.
Ken Dawson also asks, are you still friendly with Joel McHale?
I am. I just saw Joel. Me and Joel are both on CBS right now. So we shoot at the same lot. So I would pop over and see him all the time. I'm excited about his success and where he's going, because he just keeps bobbing and weaving and finding new opportunities for himself.
Really funny.
He's a funny dude. He is.
Billy D on the Larry King Now blog. Is there an actor or actress you're dying to work with?
I have been saying this for years, and no one is heeding this request. Can I work with Sandra Bullock, please? Gosh, you guys, why are you keeping us apart? I think she's brilliant. I think she's hilarious. I think, more importantly, I've heard that she's kind, and I've heard that she's just a fun person to be around. And I've been a fan of hers for forever.
The movie she made with the McCarthy woman.
Come on. Hilarious. Hilarious. So, yeah, Sandra Bullock, please. I don't care if I'm like one line or no line. I would love to work with her.
Jane Vegso on the Larry King Now blog. Despite there being some tough times in 2016, did you have a favorite moment?
Favorite moment in 2016? Just surviving it. I felt a heaviness throughout most of 2016 because I was so politically involved. Were
you shocked on election night?
I was heartbroken on election night. I really was. And I want to go back to what we said about not giving the president-elect a chance. I do agree that it's important to not make up your mind too soon. But I do feel like, barring any monumental shift, we've all seen enough to make a decision about that. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that he becomes the man that he should have been when he announced he was running. I would love if that miraculously happened. And we have nothing what I agree with you when you say we have no choice but to give him a chance. We have no choice but to see what this is going to be. I do agree with that. It's happening. Everything that could have stopped it has not stopped it, so it's going to happen. So
you love teaching, you love kindergarten, you love first grade, you want to be a mother.
I wanted to be a mother. I feel like I might have timed out. I feel like at a certain point, you kind of get too old to be chasing around a toddler. How
old are you?
How dare you? How do I look, Larry?
You look young.
How do I look?
32.
There we go. I'm 32. I'm not 32, but I'll take it. I never met the guy, and so in my mind, I kind of thought the baby would be a part of a loving marriage, and it would come like that, and it just never did.
What do you look for in a guy? You meet a guy, what do you look for?
I hope that he's funny. I hope that he's creative. I love that this has turned into a dating show. Larry King, find Yvette a husband.
I'm trying to get
Yes, thank you. God-fearing. He has to believe that God is real. Creative, funny, easygoing and kind, and cute to me. He doesn't have to be cute to anybody else, but when I see him, I have to go, oh, look at that guy.
Like Humpty Dumpty.
Like, he could be Humpty Dumpty if he's Denzel to me.
Yvette, you're a doll.
Oh, Larry, I enjoyed this so much.
Love your hair.
Thank you.
A big thanks to my guest, Yvette Nicole Brown. What a special pleasure having you here.
Honey.
Be sure to see her in The Odd Couple, airing Mondays, 9:30 p.m. on CBS, as well as the special miniseries, The New Edition Story, airing January 24th at 9 Eastern on BET. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. See you next time.